Hi, and welcome to Introvertebrates. In this video, I'm going to talk about my Chilobrachys fimbriatus, which lives in this tiny little paludarium. I'm going to talk about how I set up this paludarium and also the enclosure she lived in before this. Of course, I'll put in chapters, so if you don't want to look at how I set it up and me talking about it, you can just skip to the end result. And in this video, I'll mainly focus my attention on my specific spider and what's going on with her. And as you might have seen in some shorts, she has given me some issues from time to time. Like when I've had to move her, put her in new enclosures. She's been bolting on me. So that's something that I'll cover in the video. So hope you enjoy. All right, so here's her first enclosure. Of course, it's tiny, but I still set it up in the same way as I would for a larger spider. Of course, I have a false bottom. It's kind of like a drainage layer, so it doesn't get waterlogged, so it kind of gives some room where the water can drain out, because this spider needs quite a bit of humidity, so that's why. And otherwise, it's pretty simple setup. Just kind of use a soil mix. It's soil, dirt, and bark, leaves, sand, gravel, stuff like that, just all mixed into one. Nothing special. And then I just like to make some pre-made burrows and stuff. A little start off for the spider. Here's the end result, and now it's time to move in the spider. I got this spider back in, I think, it was in the summer, I think it's July, and it's just tiny, just a tiny little sling. It's L1, so it just had one molt since it was eggs with legs, so very small spider. But immediately, like a lot of Chilobrachys species, they are quite bolty and a little bit skittish, and this one kind of took off immediately. So first, I got to catch the spider in a little catch cup, and everything was cool. I got it back into the enclosure, but then boom, bolted again. And at this point, I felt like I didn't have time to really get a catch cup, so I put my hand down, and then the struggle was to actually not loose the spider on me. I mean, the spider is so fast, and if it was running all over me, it's such a small spider, I was terrified I would injure it, so it had to be very slow, deliberate movements, but eventually, I got her back into her enclosure and got the lid on, so luckily, everything was fine. Of course, after being in her enclosure for a while, she ended up making it her own. She webbed up a lot, like a lot of Chilobrachys, heavy webbers, and webbed up a lot, dug some burrows, found her place in there. And the good thing about that is when they feel safe, they have their little burrows and whatnot, then you can easily open the container and no worries during feeding. Generally, they will stay in if that's where they feel safe. So they will run and hide somewhere within their web or their burrow if they feel threatened. So that's a good thing. So very nice to see when they get acclimated. But of course, this spider is growing as you would expect. So it's molting, getting bigger. So in advance, I would start setting up a new enclosure. I try to make it at least a month before, sometimes longer, so the new enclosure can settle in. If there's live plants, they can like root in real nice. And I usually put some springtails in there so they can do their thing. If there's any mold or anything, they can kind of get rid of that before the spider moves in. I decided to make a small paludarium for the spider, and I put down some egg crates first, and that's basically as a drainage layer. And I put the sand up on there, and that's also kind of to help kind of separate the soil mix that I'm using for the spider to be able to dig in everything, and also for the plants to grow. kind of separated that a little bit, just to, it helps so the water doesn't get too murky, and it also helps with drainage, of course, in the water. However, for this vivarium, I don't really spray much in there. I kind of more fill up the water part, so the soil will take up the water, and also the plants will take up the water at their own pace. And as you can see, I'm putting in a bunch of rocks and other stuff, and that's basically just to give the terrarium, or the paludarium in this case, a little more structure. So it looks more natural. Like if you start digging outside in the wild, you usually will find rocks and logs and whatnot. And it's also helping if like to keep the soil in place, keep it in the right place. And if the spider decides to dig, there's something solid there, which makes it easier for it to dig a burrow without having to deal with it collapsing and whatnot. However, that's something you really do have to worry about. Like, you have to be really careful when you're putting in rocks and stuff, heavy stuff like that, that it can easily crush a spider. Make sure they're in place and they won't like shift or anything like that, because if they decided to build a burrow under it, you have to be sure that they won't shift and land on the spider and crush them. So, but I like to put them in just because it looks nice, and also always make sure that they're very solid and they're in place. Of course, tarantulas are great, especially terrestrial tarantulas are great at building burrows. So with just soil and everything, I'm sure they'll be fine too. They web them up and they're really good at it. So but, that's just how I like to do it. And here you see how the paludarium is looking so far. I mean, I pretty much got all the soil mix in there. It's kind of the same as the last enclosure, just a mix between dirt, bark, leaves, sand, gravel, stuff like that. So I decided on quite a bit of moss in this enclosure. So you see tons of mosses and some ferns and stuff like that. As you'll see at the end, certain plants die off, certain plants take over, which is one of the more fun things. Like, you see an enclosure, it kind of lives because it changes all the time, like nature would. And some plants are more dominant, some are less dominant, and kind of changes. So keep watching to the end, because I'll show you how it looks today. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it looked, and I decided something I don't always do, but I decided I want the water part to also have some greenery. So I put some Christmas moss in there, and then some, I think it's called Monte Carlo something. I'll put it on the screen. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but there's this growing small plant. So I put those in too, because I'm hoping to cover the whole water part too. So after letting the paludarium settle in for, I think it was about 2 months, I decided now it's time to get my Chilobrachys fimbriatus out and also put her into her new enclosure. I call it her. I don't know if it's a male or a female. It's just kind of positive thinking, you know, because I'm hoping it's a female since they live a lot longer. But yeah, anyway, I had to dig this spider out. And of course, as I said earlier, when they feel safe in their enclosures, that they will burrow and they will go into their burrows when they feel threatened, which obviously they do when a huge giant like myself come there and start digging out their home. It hit. So it's quite a lot of digging, quite a lot of work for me. I mean, it's fine, but yeah, it made me work for it for sure. And of course, when I finally found the spider, she was playing dead. Something certain spiders do. I've seen slings do it, small spiders, small tarantulas do it. Generally, when they're larger, I haven't seen them play dead very often. but smaller ones definitely will play dead sometimes. So yeah, that's something you can look out for. Like, of course, you can be a little bit scared, or you might be scared that you crushed or anything, but it's not uncommon that they play dead. And another thing you have to watch out for though is that they can play dead 1 second, and then the next second they're like off. They are off like a rocket. So even though they seem like they're playing dead and won't move, suddenly they will move. So watch out for that. And speaking of that, here I'm putting the tarantula. It's committed to playing dead at this point. I put the cup and it kind of rolled out. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it kind of rolled up. I was hoping it would just bolt into one of those pre-made burrows I had, but it just kind of rolled out. And as I said, all of a sudden, boom, it bolts. And at this point, I just grabbed the catch cup real quick and I trapped it. Of course, I could have done like I did earlier, used my hand. I just feel like I don't like using my hands because I'm scared I will like crush them or something. So I have a very light cup. This is something, if you're cupping a tarantula that's running, then you have to be very cautious about what kind of cup you use and how you place the cup. You can't just like put it down like hard on them. Obviously, you can trap their legs or something, you can injure them real bad. So I kind of just drop it on them, and I change my cups up depending on which spider I'm dealing with. Like if I used Susie, like my big Therapos hypothesis, I could use a pretty sturdy cup because she wouldn't be injured by it because she's so large, so she could handle more. But the small spider like this, you have to use a very lightweight cup in case you accidentally hit their legs or in worst case, their bodies. So very light cup and just kind of drop it on them. That's what I did. Caught the spider, and luckily I slid something under, got her caught, and she decided now she's not playing that tactic. She's not playing dead anymore. She's like, okay, I'm running now. This is what I'm doing. So I tried the same thing as I tried before. I tried to put the cup up, and you can see the adrenaline pumping through my veins. You see how much my hands are shaking, and yeah, I wasn't scared for me. I'm scared for the tarantula. I'm scared they get injured or she would run away, you know, and hide. And you might have noticed I put down some blockage so she couldn't like get under that shelf there. That's also a good tip if you're moving a spider, to have something to cover up, because suddenly they will bolt towards under stuff. They want to go under stuff, so watch out for that. Anyway, yeah, I got her to the entrance of her some of these pre-made burrows, and she just took off. Boom, there she goes. And perfect, just as I planned. This time it worked. And after just a little bit, she's basically started webbing up immediately. Again, Chilobrachys species generally web quite a bit. So as you can see in the video here, webbed up, made it her own home. And yeah, she's been living there since, and seems pretty happy. And she can live there for at least a few, maybe 3-4 molts. We'll see, but she can live there quite a bit longer, so I'm happy about that. Well, that was that. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, you can subscribe. Feel free to put a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on what you thought of the video. I also have an Instagram channel, so you can check that out. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.